Hi, it's TK with the weekly words of encouragement. In a previous episode of this video devotional, I described my experience with divorce and my unbelief about being loved again. In that video, I mentioned my feelings of failure, feelings that would follow me for a number of years. In this devotional, I'd like to share some encouragement about maintaining faith in the midst of failures. The day my divorce was finalized, I was numb. I did not get married just to end up divorced. I felt like a failure. It was as if I was wearing a scarlet letter, a big D on my chest to let the world know that I was divorced. Despite my education, financial status, and church attendance record, I had failed at marriage. I also felt like a failure as a mother because I failed to keep my family intact. Like a chant at a sporting event, screamed over and over again, I kept telling myself, I'm a failure, I'm a failure. That became my identity, a failure. You may have felt similar feelings of failure. Maybe your feelings stem from being rejected for a job or losing a precious pregnancy, experiencing a foreclosure on your home, or having your child journey down a path of sin. Living in our social media-driven world may also cause us to feel like a failure compared to the apparent successes of our friends. Regardless of the source, feelings of failure can overwhelm us and cause us to lose faith. But thank God for the reminder he gives us through the Apostle Paul in 2 Corinthians chapter 4, verses 8 and 9. We are pressed on every side by troubles, but we are not crushed. We are perplexed, but not driven to despair. We are hunted down, but never abandoned by God. We get knocked down, but we are not destroyed. Now, from a worldly perspective, Paul was a failure. His experiences are recorded in 2 Corinthians 11, verses 23 through 27. He shares he was jailed numerous times, beaten on multiple occasions, stoned, shipwrecked. At times, he lacked sufficient clothing to stay warm and food to eat and water to drink. Now, Paul experienced failures, yet he was able to pen the words in 2 Corinthians chapter 4, verses 8 through 9. Why? Because of his faith in Jesus Christ. He knew that any earthly failures he experienced were minor compared to the glory awaiting him in eternity. And he saw his failures as a reminder that God was his source of power. In those verses in 2 Corinthians chapter 4, Paul gives us a clear model for maintaining our faith in the midst of failures. Using the conjunction but, he links contrasting concepts, these are called paradoxes, in a series of 4 statements. And through these paradoxes, he shows us that for every failure, there's a reason to have faith. The first word or phrase in each statement can be viewed as a failure. Pressed on every side by troubles, perplexed, hunted down, knocked down. But faith emerges in the phrases after the conjunction. Not crushed, not driven to despair, never abandoned by God, not destroyed. Though we experience failures, Paul's word reminds us that our failures do not define us. We are defined by our faith. So we may be pressed on every side by circumstances of life, but those circumstances do not crush us. That's a reason to have faith. We may be perplexed by the challenges we face, but we are not driven to despair about those challenges. That's a reason to have faith. We may be hunted down by our enemies, but God is right there with us because he will never abandon us. That's a reason to have faith. We may be knocked down by situations, but those situations do not destroy us. That's a reason to have faith. We can have faith in the midst of our failures because God is at work, even in the most challenging of circumstances. And our failures are a chance for Christ to demonstrate his power in and through us. Several years after my divorce, I was asked to speak as part of my church's Mother's Day service, and I was tasked with sharing the perspective of a divorced mother. When Pastor Keith Graham asked me to speak that Sunday, he likely had no idea I had been praying for a divine healing of the lingering pains from my failed marriage. I still viewed myself as a failure even years after my divorce. But God knew, and he used my speech preparations to show me I was not crushed. I was not driven to despair. I was never abandoned by God, and I was not destroyed by the end of my marriage. He revealed to me that despite being pressed on every side and perplexed and hunted down and knocked down by life circumstances, all things truly do work for my good. Through preparing to speak at my church, I was finally able to remove the failure label I had given myself. I no longer wear that scarlet letter D on my chest. I'm following Paul's example by remembering that even in the midst of my failures, there's a reason to have faith. When you experience failures in life, I encourage you to recall the paradoxes found in 2 Corinthians chapter 4, verses 8 through 9. For every failure, there's a reason to have faith. I pray you have a blessed week, and I will look forward to seeing you next time. Bye.